Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tune Project. Today we are continuing with our fiddle techniques series by talking about the accent, what it is and how you can incorporate it into your playing. So if that sounds interesting to you, then just keep watching. But before we get into the video, if you do find this video helpful and enjoy it, a thumbs up is always a great way to show your appreciation. And if you're not subscribed to the Tune Project but enjoy my videos, I post here 2 times a week, videos very similar to this one. So consider hitting that red subscribe button and the bell so that you can be notified each time I post a new video. So what is an accent when it comes to music? I'm sure you've seen those symbols that kind of look like a sideways up bow symbol, and that is what we call an accent. So if you see any note that has this symbol above it, that basically just means that we are placing a little bit of emphasis or kind of an attack on that particular note. Now, an accent is not specific to fiddle by any means. We see it all the time in the classical world, but we do have accents in fiddle tunes as well. So it's very prevalent in many fiddle tunes of all different kinds of styles. So that's why I wanted to include it in today's video. Now, as a demonstration, I'm gonna play a tune. I'm gonna be placing accents on specific notes in this tune, and I want you to see if you can identify where they are. So I know I've used this particular tune as an example before in my other videos, but it's such a great tune for demonstrating multiple different techniques. So hopefully you were able to identify where those accents were that I was placing on some of the notes, and hopefully you were able to see and hear that I was placing them on mostly the down bows. So there was a little bit of alternating going on if you were listening closely between dynamic levels. So there were certain notes, if you could tell, that were kind of popping out a little bit more than others, and those were the notes that I was placing accents on. So now let's talk about specifically how to play this accent. How do we do it, and what types of situations would it make sense to include it in? So first, let's start on the A string, as we always do, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start in the middle of our bow. So go ahead and set your bow right at the midpoint and between the bridge and the fingerboard, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a down bow, just a very short down bow, and we're gonna use our index finger to kind of lean in to the stick of the bow on this particular note. So what's gonna happen here is you'll notice that the stick of the bow will kind of come down to meet the bow hair. So that's kind of what we're looking for here with this accent. That's how you know that you're really kind of gripping the string for this one note, and you're, again, placing this emphasis on this accent. So here we go. Let's give this a try on a down bow on open A. All right, so now we're gonna try alternating between a down bow with an accent and an up bow with no accent. So we're gonna be using the same amount of bow on each note, just the down bow will have our accent and the up bow will not. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you'll notice as you're doing this, and if it's a little bit sloppy, that's okay. You'll get the hang of it and it'll smooth out, but as you'll notice, there is a little bit of kind of a bite that's happening on that down bow, on the note that we're placing the accent on, and that's what we want. That is a result of our index finger leaning into the stick like we talked about earlier. That's what's gonna give it that bite, and then we are releasing it for the up bow so that we don't kind of maintain that scratchy sound. It's just for a brief moment that happens, and that's what's causing this emphasis on this particular note. So another way you can practice this accent is on your standard shuffle. So we've talked about the shuffle here before, and if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and go check it out. But basically we have our 2 strings that we're playing together. In this case, we're gonna do A and E together, and it's just your standard shuffle rhythm. But what you can do here to kind of make it a little bit more interesting is add accents on some of these notes. So in this case, what I'm gonna do is on our long notes, I'm gonna add the accent. So we've got long, little, and what I'm gonna do is add the accent on each of those longer, more sustained notes, and it'll sound like this. So we're using a little bit more bow in this example compared to the last example where we used a very short amount of bow, and that's just another way that you can practice playing the accent in another way, in a different type of situation. So that was a little bit about the accent. I hope you found this video helpful, and I would encourage you to find some ways to incorporate this accent into your own tunes, pieces, what have you, and see if you can kind of come up with some creative ways to include the accent and to place emphasis on notes that maybe you wouldn't have thought of before. It's a great way to practice your just general style, different bow techniques, and also rhythm as well, and changing up the rhythm and emphasis on different notes. So let me know in the comments down below if you have heard of the accent before, if you've tried it before, or if this is your first time hearing about it. Let me know what you come up with in terms of practicing it and incorporating into your playing. I would love to know. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy practicing. If you'd like to further your support of the Tune Project, be sure to head over to patreon.com/thetuneproject for information on that. And if you're planning on buying any music or doing any shopping on Amazon, be sure to head over to the Tune Project website, which I linked in the description box of all of my videos. Click my Amazon banner, and whatever you purchase, a small percentage of that will go toward the Tune Project. This just keeps the Tune Project going and allows me to continue to create free content for you all.